You know the expression, stay in your lane? Well, I have learned stay in your lane is what's necessary here. Yes, it's Facebook Live again, and yes, it's Dave Lamont for your almost daily Dave, mainly because I can't figure out going live on YouTube. I'm not a YouTuber, as you've noticed, and today just slapped me in the face, so I'm not going to be doing that just quite that way. What I'm going to do is, and since I didn't announce this in advance on Facebook Live, it's cool. I'm just going to put it on YouTube, and you can watch it here or there. But that was weird. I'm going to have to spend a lot more time. I literally thought it was going to be hit the live button like it is on Facebook, and we're good. So here's your first YouTube version of Almost Daily Dave, the short version of my Monday and Friday Nooner with Dave that it's going to run on the days that I don't go long. And I just want to talk about one thing today. Did you know this was coming, the Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue? Because when I went to the mailbox yesterday, I was surprised to see it. Not disappointed, but surprised. First off, this used to be a very controversial issue. Remember? There would be news stories about fights around the dinner table with 13-year-old Bobby not being allowed to see it, or mom and dad throwing the issue away, or all this other stuff. It used to be very, very controversial. And I did not know, and I've been a subscriber to SI for over 50 years. No kidding. Back when my parents used to pay for it. And by the way, I don't even know how long the swimsuit issue's been around. But it has quietly approached us. Now, I realize we're pretty distracted people right now. We're in a controversial election year. We have a virus that is sickening and killing people at a scary rate, depending on where you live. I'm in Florida. You can figure out how I feel about it. But this quiet, meek arrival of this issue, I have a few thoughts about that. Number one, and I hate to say this because I've been a fan of the magazine for years, but as you know now, Sports Illustrated isn't the weekly titan that it used to be. And magazines themselves are dropping out left and right. It's just the way media is consumed in this world nowadays that things are so instant that reading something that, even if it's a thoughtfully written piece by a tremendously talented writer, we don't consume that like we used to consume it. You can go to SI.com, and by the way, I did that this morning. And at SI.com, you have to really find the swimsuit portion of that website. It's not even up front anymore. They have a traditional looking sports website with their top stories and videos and things like that. But this used to be an issue that they lived off the publicity, bad or good. And now it's not happening like that anymore. And I'll be honest, I'm not even sure how much longer I'll continue to be a subscriber. It's only a tiny tax write-off. But it's just how we consume things. We just need instantaneous instancy, which is a new word, and maybe I shouldn't have even have used. Maybe that'll be on my ways to improve the English language. Instancy is not really a word. But I know you know what I mean. And there's another part of this that is a little on the seedy side, but let's face it. The images that you see in this magazine, and by the way, they've gone all out to be as inclusive as they can, which is fine with me in this magazine as far as the way the women look. But let's face it, you want instant gratification or instant photos or whatever, you can do a lot better or worse, depending on your perspective, just by holding your phone. And that's changed things too. We can now go to Twitter or Facebook and read articles. Sometimes you have to subscribe, and how many of you do? I don't. Very rarely do I subscribe. So everyone's losing money. Traditional media is losing money. And in the meantime, all the images you could ever want for that are a lot more revealing than what's in this magazine are available, and very often for free. I'm not a huge things were better in the good old days guy because, man, you open a lot of doors you don't want to open when you do this. But this might be one of them. I kind of miss that hype. I kind of miss hearing how doctors and dentists have to take the issue out of their waiting rooms to avoid angry patients. I kind of miss the complaints from outraged moms and dads, more moms, because this issue was dirty or pornographic somehow. It's pretty tame. I looked at it yesterday. It really is. And I don't know if any of the women are going to get the kind of fame that they got out of it, say 10, 15, 20 years ago when some of the models, especially the cover model, became household names. It is a bit of a longing for the good old days, which can be very dangerous if you wrap yourself too tightly in the nostalgia flag. But in this case, I kind of miss the good old days. For once, I miss complaining. That's your almost daily Dave. and not live on YouTube. Give me 5 or 6 weeks and I'll have that process figured out. Thanks for watching. I'll see you tomorrow.